But you do have other news. Something else has happened to you this week, hasn't it?
I do. So we got a COSTCO membership. I didn't realize that Costco actually you can do hearing tests. While I was at Costco a couple of weeks ago to book for before I booked it, I went to the counter and I was greeted by this, I'm going to guess, probably like 60, 70-year-old Caucasian male guy who was at the reception area. And I just walked up and it's Costco, right? It's not the Met Gala, so I was wearing like thongs, shorts, and t-shirt. You just walk into Costco and like, hi, I'm here to inquire about the hearing test, just wonder how much it's going to cost and everything. And he looks at me up and down, and I looked at me. He's like, "This isn't something that you just do for fun." And I'm like, "I'm not here for fun. I want to get my hearing test." But he's like, "Well, do you have any pre-existing hearing conditions for people who actually are serious about their hearing loss?" And then I'm like, "Well, buddy, I've had a lot of issues with my ears before. I've had operations on my ears, had grumps, I've been seeing it." He's like, "Oh, okay. And he's like, okay, so tell me about your history." So I told him about my history, and he's like, "Okay, we'll book you back in next week to get your hearing done." And as he was punching my details, the most boomer racist thing you could ever.
What happened?
He was like, "Oh, your last name's Tan. Are you Malaysian?" And I'm Malaysian. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I got two friends who are Malaysian. The first name is Christine Tan and Leon Tan. They live in Ringwood. Do you know them? You must know them."
Ew.
And then I was like, "No, I don't know them." But I should have been like, "I do know them."
That would have made him shook.
Because he's like, "No, they're my friends. They're my two." He probably had those are his two only Malaysian friends. He thought that we had the last name. It happens so frequently. But that aside,
You should have been like, "Yeah, no, I'm going to tell them what you just did to me."
no, I can't do that. But fast forward to this week, I went to get my hearing test done, and the history behind my ears is that I've used to have a lot of issues with infection with my ears, so I've had a lot of operations on my ears, getting my grommets done, skin grafting, but they all kind of failed. And then my ENT, my specialist, actually realized that it's actually because of my nose, because I have a deviated septum. So got that corrected, got that fixed. It didn't work. Had to get another operation, and that kind of fixed it. So I went to get my hearing test done this week to see how everything is going so far. And the results, she said that in my right ear, I've lost about 50% of hearing in the low frequency area. And I didn't want, I was like, "Could you explain what this meant?" So that actually means that I realized, she said that when you go to loud places or areas, you find it really difficult to understand people because the low frequency hearing actually is responsible for the vowels. So like when people speak to you, if you might find it extremely hard. And it's like, that makes sense. I'm always like, do you know when people like talking and you're like, huh? Sorry, could you? And it gets to a point where you just can't ask anymore. You go, You just have to nod your head and be like, assume what they said, right? So this is actually making sense to me now. So I'm putting all these puzzle pieces in my head, and then I kept asking her a lot of questions like, what happens if I don't get it fixed? And then she said that if you don't get it fixed, you can actually develop astigmatism, like a stigma with your eye. You can get a bit of a laziness with your eye.
Yep.
If you don't exercise a particular muscle in your ear, you'll lose the ability to understand people a lot more clearly. And usually what I actually realize too, when I'm editing the podcast, or what my mom always says, that I tend to mumble quite a bit. And she says that because everything's related, your speech, your hearing, when I'm talking, I actually don't realize that the reason why I'm mumbling is because I'm actually mimicking the sounds that are coming to my ear. If I'm not listening very clearly, the sounds that I produce is not very clear as well.
But I do feel really bad for like getting frustrated when you don't understand what I say. So now I suddenly feel really bad.
It's real.
So what's gonna happen now? Do you have to get hearing aids, or what's the go?
She said I got two options. The first one is I get hearing aids in both ears, or I have to get another operation in both ears to attempt another skin grafting done. But at this point in time, I don't know. I'm a bit unsure what I'm going to do. Hearing aids aren't pretty bad. Like, they look kind of okay. Like, the stigma behind it, only old people get it. But we do have friends who have it as well. So that's a little bit interesting.
Hello, thank you for watching this special video. And if you like what you watch, please make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. But also check out our information down below as well. See you next time.
Bye.